So you guys probably know what Hunter x Hunter is.
Yeah, I know this place is only for adults. I get told that all the time because of how young I look. But you don't have to worry about it. I'm actually 20 years old.
Answer question. You know Chain Dude or not?
なんて恥ずかしい格好かしら。撮ってるわよ。ほらほらもっと足開いて。
So the 99 version of Hunter x Hunter is kind of weird, and I wanted to talk about it in this video. So the rest of the video I'm just gonna split it into parts and explain some of the weird stuff in it, starting with the first thing I wanted to talk about was HISOKA. In the 2011 version, you can tell he's kind of weird, but he's charming and mysterious enough to warrant a fanbase. Kind of like how Ted Bundy got married and had a child with someone while in prison for murdering 30 people. I mean, yeah, he killed like 30 people, but that jawline though. But in 1999, HISOKA is a full-blown predator, and he embraces that as a part of his identity, like he's trying to coin pedophilia in the LGBT movement. Here's a clip of why I dislike HISOKA in this entire adaptation. He's literally staring at Gon and Killua's ass and then just lets out this moan.
おいちょっと前歩けよ。
そうかい？こうやって後ろから君たちを見てると。
I don't know why, but his voice sounds like someone is gripping his ball sack with full force, but he likes it for some reason. It's weird, man. It's weird. At least the 2011 version is more tame in how HISOKA is portrayed. He doesn't outright say that he's attracted to children. It's only alluded to, so it's not a real confession and he can't get arrested for it. There's a bunch of musicians and artists from the 70s and 80s that had very questionable relationships with children, like Michael Jackson. Yeah, he's never been proven to have any relations with a child, but he slept with a bunch in his mansion. But when Thriller comes on, I'ma jam to it. R. Kelly pissed on a bunch of kids, but I'm still listening to Ignition 9 when that comes on the radio. But just to psychoanalyze this thought, I've decided to compare the two moans side by side. The first moan is from 1999. The second moan is from 2011. Now, I don't want to speak on behalf of the audience, but to me, the 2011 one is much more artistic. You know, there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of movement. It's much more exaggerated and much more charming. Whereas the 99 one just sounds like the musty uncle at the party that your mom won't leave you alone with. Regardless, HISOKA is still seen as a fan favorite among literally everyone in the Hunter x Hunter community for some reason, and maybe if they watched the 99 version, they would have a different opinion. But I guess the one takeaway in general is that you can get away with a lot of criminal and insane things as an artist or someone in a higher class because art critics will think you're a genius and regular people will look up to you for money, when in reality, you're just a pedophile. Wait, what was this video about again? Regardless of if you want to call Hunter x Hunter a deconstruction or a dark, edgy fantasy, the series will always, at its heart, going to be a shonen, which means a show for teenagers. Yeah, it gets really dark as the series progresses, and there's themes of genocide and illusions of the brutality of war and whatever, but at its core it's a series about an 11-year-old boy making friends and traveling the world. But sometimes the 99 adaptation doesn't even feel like a shonen. Maybe it's the color schemes being very moody and dull, but at the beginning there's a really dark undertone to it, even though the first couple of arcs are supposed to be really tame. I don't know why, but Hunter x Hunter looks more like Berserk than it does to Yu Yu Hakusho, which is a series that the author wrote before he started Hunter x Hunter. I don't know, I just think it's a very weird directorial decision to have that. However, when it comes to the aesthetics of the darker parts of the series, like the Yorknu arc, the 99 adaptation looks really, really cool, and to me fits the aesthetic of the arc better than the 2011 version. Yeah, the Kurapika scene in 2011 is cool, but it's not. The music doesn't hit the same, but I like this aesthetic better. But I guess if you look at 2011 as the Hebrew Jews with their praying cap and the long dreaded hair baptizing their children, the 99 version is the sadistic Jew that sneaks out in the middle of the night and goes to a club to eat out a prostitute and get herpes in the mouth. Yeah, so in 99's filler, Killua has a porn addiction for some reason. But this isn't even some of the strangest parts of this series. In the English dub, a character named Phaeton, who's a Phantom Troop member, is literally unable to speak English for some reason.
Are you saying Crollo afraid of Hisoka? Apologize. No, Shizuku. You too weak.
Kid, You too cocky. You too cocky. Answer question. You know chain dude or not? Why you give me order? I no need to obey.
Like he's speaking in a normal English accent, and the person that's voice acting him sounds like a normal person. It's just that for some reason he's clinically challenged. Now I'm purely speculating here, but to me Fei-tan is the only person that actually looks like an Asian person. So maybe the Americans who were dubbing this series thought that this guy was supposed to be Asian, so instead of actually getting an Asian voice actor, they just made whoever the voice actor was talk in an illiterate fashion because they thought this is what Asian people sounded like. Yeah, this is racist, but what do you expect from pre-9/11 America? This was before Asian representation in American media was cool, and a lot of Asian men were seen as pussies, and women gave none of it to them. So I guess it's a representation of the times, for better or for worse. And honestly, this is pretty tame compared to some of the other animes that got official dubs in the United States.
Think of a big black man chasing you!
Well, he's not racist.
I guess not. He's only 0.2 seconds faster.
After watching this, you may be wondering, what's the best way of consuming the story of Hunter x Hunter? And regardless of what I said in this video, the best way to consume the series in my opinion is the 2011 anime, because there's no filler, the animation is consistently good, and the music is just way better, it's not even close. Usually I would say to read the manga of any series that I recommend, because it's just a faster read and there's less commitment, but sometimes reading the Hunter x Hunter manga feels like I'm reading a newspaper, so just watch the 2011 anime. But this doesn't mean that the 99 anime isn't worthwhile. I think it's still pretty good, and if you're a fan of the series, I recommend watching it to get a new perspective, because there's some stuff that it does way better than 2011, and you know, it's just a new way to experience the series, I guess. Also, it has that really nice 90s anime aesthetic that you just don't see anymore with CGI backgrounds, which makes it really nice in its own way. If you made it this far into the video, you should watch my last video. It's really good. It's about a Studio Ghibli movie, but I talk about dropping out of school and society and stuff. It's really good. Honestly, it's better than this one. This was just a filler video that I just made for fun.